think of yourselves as a communication specialist. Because, you know, that's what I'm hearing everyone here say, especially you, Linda, that to step back and say, you know, that's really the job that I'm in. I'm the communication specialist and help companies communicate that all through the channels and employees.
Yeah, let me just say something here. I think it's really, our industry, the promotional products industry anyway, is becoming, and you heard me say this a little while ago, it's becoming a very commoditized business. There's not going to be jobs for people who are selling commodities too much longer. Look at our industry. It's not working that way. You know, people can shop you on the internet for it. So what other services are you going to add? Okay, so if you're going to, you have to create value for yourself. You have to be different. You have to be unique. You have to be a part of you have to be part of their team. You know, and then you have the value, and then when somebody pushes back, well, I can get this pen for a penny difference. Well, are they in your office? Are they giving you ideas? And you know, and if you're working this relationship right, they wouldn't even say that to you.
And Linda, I mean, we had this conversation the other day. You know, you've established your business where your customers are calling you for things that aren't even in your area of expertise. You've established yourself as such a good resource that they're calling you for things that you've done for them selflessly and saying, yeah, well, I'd be happy to help find that out for your resource. And so I think that the really kind of cool thing about her business is that she has people coming to her, not just about promotional products or incentives, but all things in general. And she's the first go-to person that they're going to call to and say, hey, I'm faced with this situation. What would you do? Or do you have a resource?
I have one final comment on that front too, which you may not understand based on the business you're in and the business that I've been in, and we've been kind of running parallel, but we haven't crossed over. Really, in Middle America, there's no incentive consultants other than Linda that they're really going after that Middle America company. There's large incentive houses that are out there that are calling on a certain tier of Fortune 500. And they're telling their salespeople, hey, in this economy, you can't even touch something under $300,000, $400,000. Okay, so that sales team, they go there and up. There's really not any energy focused on small to mid companies, and that's a whole slice that's there for the taking if you want to add this as to a component to your business. So I just say that to encourage you. The landscape's wide open.
Yeah, and you've got nothing to lose by trying this. Nothing. And you already have existing customers. You know, I'm going to, and we're diverting from this just for a second, but I'm going to say to you, if you don't do this tomorrow, you're never going to do it. So tomorrow, do this. Tomorrow.
You were a school teacher at one point.
I was. Tomorrow, do this. Tomorrow, make this happen. You know, and start this as a new habit for yourself. Because otherwise, these notes are going to go into a file, and then you're going to move them from one bag to the other, and then eventually you're going to throw them out. And you know, and then, well, why are you here? Then you're going to waste your time. So start this tomorrow. Start this tomorrow with a customer that you know, and just start asking some questions, either in front of them or on the phone. Well, how's the economy working for you?
I'm just laughing because I call her and say the same thing. What do you do for me today?
Yeah. That's right.
Well, we just have the next couple of minutes. I just want to wrap that up and talk about best practices. And Linda, from your standpoint, what techniques have you found that you use to stay on top of your client finding incentive and recognition opportunities? What's sort of the best practices that you employ yourself?
Okay, I'm going to try to make
other
this
than starting tomorrow.
Yes, start tomorrow.
Right.
I'm going to name these kind of quickly because I see we've been using up our time. Mark had shared with me a secret that was absolutely awesome, and if you haven't done this before, you want to. It's called Google Alerts. Has anyone tried Google Alerts? Okay. All right. You're using it now. How are you using it?
I spy on my clients.
Spy on your clients. That's right. Okay, so basically you just go to Google and there's an alert system, and you can put in your customer's name or you can put in a business name, and then any information that flows through the internet about that person or about that company will come up to you as a Google alert. It will come to you through an email. So, and it's wonderful because I can find out, you know, what my bank is not telling me or what my construction company is not telling me, it's just there. And I go, I didn't know they were doing scholarships for so-and-so, I didn't know they had this green initiative, and blah, blah, blah. So it's fabulous, so use Google Alerts. Secondly, pick up brochures, ask for rules for, safety programs, or just, ask for printed materials that they have to, related to their, if they have a service award program, ask to see what it looks like, ask. People give you that stuff. Thirdly, we mentioned this earlier, go to the website, read the articles in the website, scan industry magazines that are out there, and make sure that you make it a habit of asking your customer questions, find out what's going on, listen for the opportunities, and if you hear yourself talking too much, stop talking and ask questions. And then last of all, I'm going to suggest join groups like LinkedIn. You can go in there if you have a certain niche, or maybe you're used to working with, I said banks, maybe you do banks or something like that. You can go online and find out if there's, maybe work with libraries. Find out there's a group in LinkedIn that are library directors or something like that. Go in there and join the group, and then watch the chatter, and then jump in and find out, and all of a sudden you've become friends with people in the niche market you're interested in working with.
And I brought a visual aid to make this a multi-dimensional presentation here. One of the greatest ideas that a distributor showed me years ago, and I use it from time to time, and I'd really encourage you to consider this. That's to look at your paper, look for articles that might be of interest. This is one here about Brian Erlacher. Anyone here in Chicago knows his name. He's one of our safeties. And he's talking here about, he's making all the money in the world, but he doesn't feel he's being recognized by the bearers. He doesn't feel worthwhile, that he's getting the type of appreciation that he's worth. Now look at here, there's a sticky note there. So you could take an article like this, photocopy it, and put a sticky note on it and send it to your customer and just saying, hey, had you seen this article? That you always are thinking about recognition for your employees. Here's another reason to show them, hey, even the top paid people in the world feel that it's important to be recognized by your organization. Thought you might want to share that with your management team. So cut these things out and hand them out to your customers. Really powerful stuff if you get something like this in the mail, like someone with a little handwritten note like that. Brant, give me this one.
In a segue, my comment is, because I have a passion about the business, it's 24 hours a day. My wife hates going out with me because I'll be any place, anytime, and I'll see something or a process as a consumer that just isn't right. And you talk about how you find leads. We'll be at a restaurant, we'll be someplace, whatever, and you want to treat people with compassion, all that. But when you see the gap, I'll just pick up and find out who's the area VP or whatever, and I'll call them and say, I'm a customer. Do you know when I asked ABCX, they couldn't even answer DYG? And I said, we have something that can help you with those kinds of things. And they often don't know what's going on the front line. So just as a consumer, you can pick up leads 24/7.
I have a picture on my iPhone of a company that on the outside of their building, they have a congratulations, Walter, on your 30 years of service. I took a picture of it and sent it to a distributor as a lead and said, you might want to call them on that. I was at Great America, which is an amusement park for those of you who don't know, and there was I was standing out there while my kids were on the ride, and there was a sign up there with, it said, congratulations XYZ team for your excellent performance, Janet. So one of the ride technicians was standing there, and I said, what's this about? He told me, and I said, well, who's Janet? Oh, she's in charge of HR. I go, what's her last name? Handed the lead off. They're all around you.
Can I tell them my other story? I'm on vacation, and somewhere in Amarillo, Texas, we're driving cross country, and there's a truck caught on fire. Traffic backed up for 5 miles. After a while, 10, 15 minutes, people start getting out of their cars. I start a conversation with the gentleman behind me who's in the trucking business, and we're sharing stories. And it ends up, we're calling him for a service recognition program and a safety program for his 200 truck drivers. I found it literally on a highway, just striking up a conversation. So, it's there, it's in front of you.
Born salesman, right here. All right, and Resources, let's talk about industry resources.
Well, I think we're, again, right in front of us. You know, thanks to the IMA for hosting these kind of sessions, and thanks for you people attending these things. It's a great sharing of, you know, we learn from you, you learn from us, those kinds of things. You know, the web is a great resource to go to. Another nugget, there's something called the Forum for Northwestern has a learning center wrapped around incentives. So that go to incentivecentral.org. I mean, there's more information on the incentive business out there today than ever before.
Yeah, the IMA, by the way, is an acronym for the Incentive Marketing Association.